Hi, it's MJ speaking again. So I'm going to try my fourth video, and I'm actually wearing my glasses this time so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Let's see, where was I last time? I talked a little bit about myself, the fact that I've lived pretty much all across Southern Ontario and working my way up through Northern Ontario, although truth be told, I probably won't move any further than Espanola. Maybe back to Sudbury, but that's not for quite some time. So anyways, let's see. Let's talk about editing a bit. As any writer knows, editing is a huge part of any author's duties as a writer. Editing is probably the hardest part about being a writer. You can write a story, a great story. I write stream of conscience, which is pretty much just writing, and then after I'm all done, if I can get the courage, I start to edit. Usually I just put my books aside for 6 months to a year and then edit. This gives me a fresh pair of eyes to work with, and I catch things a little bit easier than I would, say, if I went and edited right away. As my readers in my fan fiction group would know, I hate editing. I tend to post right away when I do fan fiction and just forget about the editing altogether. It's not a good practice. I would advise against it. If you can have a beta reader, I would go with one. But myself, I'm one of those people, once it's done, it has to be out there, and that's that. When you're doing novels, it's not the same. You want the best possible book to present to your readers. Because if your readers are reading and they find mistakes, little typos, inconsistencies, they tend to get upset. And I do apologize because I know I have done this on occasion, especially when it came to the brothers, my first book, Brothers, from the Gods Among Dragons series, which we had a little foobarb with one of the files that we had. So not quite sure how that happened, probably on my end. Anyways, that was that. It's in the past, and you learn from it. So now that I have book 2, Victory, coming out this October, I've decided that I'm not going to take chances. I'm not going to play any games. I'm going to make sure everything is edited, probably at least a dozen more times before I send it to my publisher. And this is something I actually advise everybody. You can never really edit a book too much when it comes to typos and inconsistencies or those type of things. However, if you're editing because a reader says they don't like the way it's written and you're just going to edit to appease one reader, don't do it. Okay? Edit for the book to be perfect. If you've got 20 readers and one person says they don't like it, don't edit it all over again for that one person, because that's only one opinion. If everybody else says it's really good and they enjoy it, then follow them. I'm only saying that because I've been asked by a few other authors if this and that and so forth should be changed because of one person's opinion. No. Unless, of course, you feel that it needs to be changed. Or if it's something glaring and the people who are telling you it's good are family and friends, then, of course, take the opinion of an actual reader. So, if any of that made sense, that's great. If not, I'm sorry, because I have a tendency to just ramble on. Anyhow. So, editing, I'm old school when it comes to editing. I like to print up my files and then use a good old-fashioned red pen and go right through it. The reason I like red is the same reason teachers like red. It shows up. It kind of becomes a glaring eyesore that you just have to focus on and deal with and fix. So don't be afraid of a red pen. Actually embrace it. Editors tend to do this so that you can catch the mistakes a lot faster. They'll either circle, highlight, or whichever. If they're doing it old school, if they're doing it on their computers, then of course they highlight and they'll have like little boxes with suggestions. Those are actually very good to have because your editors and your beta readers are your best friends. Let's put it this way. They might not be your friends in, your everyday life. And I honestly suggest having beta readers that you don't really know well enough to say they're your good friends. I have a few. I really admire them. I like them a lot. And I like the fact that they're not afraid to tell me what they think. I'm going to take off my glasses because I got a nasty glare from the sun that's trying to break through the clouds. So, anyhow, revisions are another thing. Don't be afraid to make revisions. Don't be afraid to tack on stuff or take off stuff. Sometimes you learn as you're reading through it and editing it yourself, or as one of your beta readers or your editors going through it, that there's some things you repeat that don't need to be repeated. There's some things that are not clarified that need to be clarified. This is why you need a beta reader. They can catch things that you wouldn't think of or you wouldn't notice because you have it envisioned in your head a certain way. And this is where, having these people look through it, having somebody who doesn't know you very well and can't really edit to make you happy, because that's what happens when you get your friends to do it or even your family to do it. They edit to make you happy. You don't want them to make you happy. Well, you do, but you don't want them feeling obligated to make you happy, okay, or obligated to say this is really well done, this is really good. You want somebody who's going to be truthful and tell you, hey, this doesn't make sense, or hey, what happened here? Why is this suddenly missing? Can you explain? The other thing that's really good is, those gaps can be fixed. Or the other thing is, you already said this over here. Why are you repeating it? Does it need to be repeated? Does it need to be all redone again? Or can that be removed? Or should the other one be removed? And it will help you find where that piece is better. Is it at the beginning or is it later on? Now, one of the things I make mistakes with is, like I say, I ramble a lot. And sometimes I ramble a lot in my first chapter. I give maybe a little too much information. Or, give the plot away a little too soon. So you don't want me doing that. And your beta readers will be able to find that, and they'll be able to say, hey, you're rambling too much. Hey, there's too much of this. Hey, there's too much of that. Hey, there's not enough. Those are ones I like because I love to add on. So from there, they can also tell you if it's appropriate for a younger audience, if it's too grown up. They'll catch anything like, because I write stream of conscious, sometimes I swear a little bit, sometimes my characters get a little too flirty. Remember, I do erotica. I've been writing erotica now for 12 years. So when I write, every so often I get a little bit of that coming back in, and they'll be able to catch that and say, hey, move that to somewhere else, because young adult books, you don't want erotica in it. And general audience, while sex is okay, you do want to have it limited. You don't want to have all of a sudden, sex without plot, or sex with plot but too much sex, because that you don't want that to be your focus. Erotica, that's the focus. You want to know when so-and-so is going to get together and do the nasty. And general audience, you you kind of cut back on that a little bit. It's implied. You might have some scenes in there, but it is not going to be as often as erotica. Young adult, nada. It can be implied that so-and-so did this or that. Sorry about the motorcycle. So yeah, young adult, you can imply it, but it's not the focus. You know, you don't want to be focusing on character A again with character B and going at it for half the novel, or even going at it for any period. Really, it's just kind of suggested. I have two characters who are together, and you know, they are a solid couple. Does that mean they have to be, you know, messing around like bunnies in heat? No. They do their thing, and that's that. It's, you know, it's a given. It's not, it doesn't need to be detailed. Anyways, so my son's soccer has just ended. I am going to call it quits for tonight, and I hope to talk to you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.